The NBA has always had a superstar who is regarded as the league's face. Decade after decade, there has been a face with the likes of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and the league's current face, LeBron James. Before they left the league, there was a ceremony known as the passing of the torch from the league's old to its new face. Once again, from Jordan to Kobe, then Kobe to LeBron, there was that unmistakable moment when everyone knew the league was in his hands. But here's the problem with the present NBA. We're still looking for this person. LeBron has a few more years in him, amazingly, after playing for 21 seasons and approaching his 22nd, while having the opportunity to play alongside his kid, which is insane to even consider. But who will LeBron throw the torch to? People are pondering a few names for that person. Possibly, after the NBA Finals, we will have a definitive answer to that question, but the world has yet to agree on one. So let's take a look at the athletes vying to be the league's face, and at the end of this video, I'll tell you who I think is the league's face and why. But before we go into the list, I would appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. Now, let's talk about the honorable mentions, the players who are on the outside looking in. Let's begin with the promising Paolo Banchero. Paolo, 21, has shown promise and continuous improvement, taking his Orlando Magic to the playoffs this year and pushing the Cavs to a Game 7, demonstrating his leadership abilities and development as a team captain. Mind you, Magic has been the league's laughingstock in recent years, and it has been inconsequential since Dwight Howard left. Paolo is already an All-Star and a Rookie of the Year winner, to name a few of his accomplishments. He is poised to be a star for years to come. Banchero is 6 feet, 10 inches tall and weighs 250 pounds, but he moves so easily on the basketball court. The #1 overall pick in the 2022 NBA has exploited his unique abilities to excel as a scorer, ball handler, and distributor for the Magic. The next honorable mention goes to Tyrese Halliburton. I consider him the point god. If you haven't seen my previous video in which I likened him to Chris Paul before his breakout season this year, at the age of 24, he is already a two-time All-Star and the league's leading assist leader. Halliburton is one of the best passers in the NBA today, and he was recently named NBA assist champion with 10.9 assists after being second to James Harden a year ago. He's a clever, efficient player who can shoot from all three levels and enjoys getting his teammates involved. Halliburton's lack of scoring could be a stumbling block to his rise to prominence. It was especially noticeable during the playoffs when he appeared to vanish and take a backseat to others. Now, let's look at the guys who could be the NBA's next face. This is arranged in no particular order. Let us begin with SGA. At the age of 25, he was a two-time All-Star and made 2 All-NBA teams. He's nearly tripled his scoring average since his rookie season. He's up to 30.1 points per game and finished the season 5th on the scoring list. He is an amazing scoring machine who depends on getting to the basket rather than attempting three-pointers. A rarity in today's game. He has incredible basketball skills and is also an excellent defender. He is one of the NBA's steals leaders, averaging 2 per game last season. The 25-year-old was an All-Star starter this season, finishing second in MVP voting and making the All-NBA first team. We're all in on Gilgeous-Alexander right now, but he still needs to work more to catch up to guys that achieved more early in their careers. Next, we'll talk about Anthony Edwards, whom most NBA fans believe is the league's new face. He is only 22 years old and has already appeared in 2 All-Star games and 1 All-NBA team. Edwards was born to be a star, with his honest and carefree nature making him the ideal face of the league. Edwards always speaks his mind without sugarcoating his answers. Some could argue that he is overly honest, and his freewheeling demeanor is unprofessional. Edwards, the first overall choice in the 2020 draft, has rewarded the Timberwolves with his versatility and endurance. An All-Star for the previous 2 seasons, as well as an All-NBA selection, he has surpassed Karl-Anthony Towns as the leader of the Minnesota Timberwolves. The way his team's season ended, a hammering by the Mavericks, left it questionable whether he was capable of leading them to the next level. There's also the matter of whether Edwards is mature enough to represent the league. He's had to apologize in public several times for his poor word choice. To be regarded a face of the league player, Edwards must continue to grow both on and off the court. Now, let's talk about the current NBA Rookie of the Year and League phenomenon, Victor Wembanyama. Victor's ability to score from wherever, as well as his defensive explosiveness, has the NBA abuzz. He has survived an entire season, which many people said he would not be able to do due to his physical characteristics. Most 7-foot-tall players have an injury bug associated to their names. Wembanyama, like LeBron James, received a lot of attention before he ever made his NBA debut. Victor's rookie season has already been considered among the all-time greats, with only Shaq, David Robinson, and Alonzo Mourning averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. Wembanyama's mix of size and skill makes him one of the most remarkable players in league history. He's one of the league's finest defenders and possibly the best rim protector we've seen in decades. The only knock on Victor is that he only played 1 season and his squad was dreadful to watch. More seasons and his ability to develop as a player will determine whether he deserves to be the NBA's face. Let's discuss about one of the 2 players in the NBA Finals. Jayson Tatum, currently 26 years old, is the oldest player to be considered the league's face. However, he has 5 All-Star appearances, 4 All-NBA, and an All-Star Game MVP. Tatum has been on the verge of superstardom for years, but he always appears one step away from being one of the league's genuinely best players. Tatum possesses the stature, talent, and star power to become the league's face. Unlike others, he has publicly expressed a desire to move forward and be the face of the league. The one thing that stands out against Tatum is that he sometimes disappears, as evidenced by Jaylen Brown stepping up and leading the club to the finals in the Eastern Conference. Jayson Tatum is a winner, but he has yet to win it all and be the guy who leads the team to victory. If Tatum wants to be the league's face, he must dominate the finals and secure his name. Finally, let's discuss the worldwide phenomenon known as Luka Magic. At 25 years old, he has 5 All-Star appearances, 5 All-NBA selections, the 2018 Rookie of the Year award, and 2 NBA scoring championships. Luka is a second-half NBA Finals participant who will face Jayson Tatum, which might be a turning point in both players' quest to become the league's face. Luka was a superstar from the moment he stepped onto an NBA court in 2018. Given his huge effect on his teams, the 25-year-old is set to win many MVPs during his career, and Luka only gets better as the lights become brighter. In NBA postseason history, only Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain have greater scoring averages than Doncic. Luka is a must-see on television, but some may argue that he is always weeping to the refs and will sometimes quit parts of live games to ensure that his complaints are heard. Also, Luka is a defensive liability. Unlike LeBron, Kobe, or Jordan, who held their own defensively, Luka is the polar opposite. Opposing teams look for Luka and try to expose his weaknesses. Now that we've gone over the names and their achievements, let us now examine who I believe is the league's face. My honest opinion is that it must be Luka Magic. Throughout the season, he demonstrated his capacity to be that man as an individual player. This postseason run has showed me that Luka is learning how to win. With Kyrie's help, he is learning to play winning basketball when it counts. After Game 1 of the finals, it appears that the Celtics have the Mavericks number, but that is the beauty of the NBA. Games are not decided in a single game. Let's see if Kyrie can aid Luka and teach him about overcoming hardship throughout the finals, and see whether Luka can lead the Mavericks to a championship. Even if they don't this year, I believe Luka will ultimately win one. So there you have it. Please let me know in the comments who you think is the league's face and whether you agree with me. If you love this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel to see more NBA videos.